Siege was unceremoniously killed. She didn't fall out of the meta naturally, like Eyjafjalla for example. Looking at the game's history, it almost feels like a planned out assassination from Hypergryph. They sent Agent 47 to deal with her. Then the attempt to redeem her with the modules also failed, despite -4 DP on paper being very good. Obviously. So let's find out what happened, and how Siege went from a staple to Saga's bitch. Ironic considering Saga is the dog of the two. But that's weird to say, right? That an operator fell off over time. Arknights doesn't do nerfs. The game doesn't believe in balance patches for better or for worse. Siege right now is the same goober as Siege at launch, if not even better. So what happened? Let's look at her kit. Skill 1 sucks. Skill 2 is generally the best one of the three. On a short SP cost, you get a stylish backflip and a ton of damage as true AoE in the 4 adjacent tiles. At M3, it's also a really good heli drop. It has 10 SP cost and 10 initial SP. I trust you can do the math on that one. But it's not perfect. No one is perfect except for Gummy. The main issue here is the fact it's an automatic skill, meaning her DP production relies on enemies coming to her, akin to a Bagpipe for example. And you also can't, let's say, save the charges while she kills weak shit enemies and then unleash them all like a flood of pain on a strong enemy. It also doesn't make much DP at all, and skill 3 doesn't make DP. It doesn't. To my knowledge, she's the only bastard in the Vanguard class having a skill that doesn't produce DP or help produce DP in some way. Even Vigil at least makes 2 DP. Remember when I said skill 1 sucked? Yeah, in actuality, it's her best option if you want her to make DP, but honestly, if you put down Siege to make DP, there are far worse underlying issues with your brain. About skill tree, it lowers her attack speed, increases her attack a ton, and she has a 40% chance to stun. Beside the fact it doesn't produce DP, removing the van from Vanguard, but not in the good way, this is still kinda meh. Even at launch, skill 2 has generally better DPS with the true AoE. With skill 3 she doesn't hit that hard, the stun, while having better chances than most, isn't too reliable, and she attacks as fast as my paralyzed grandma. However, one very interesting bit of information is that her SP cost of 30 isn't actually 30, but far lower. This is because Siege ignores a mechanic called SP Lockout, a mode where the operator cannot gain SP, indicated when the SP bar is orange. Siege ignores this. She can gain SP during skills. This is thanks to her talent too, that makes her gain 1 SP when an enemy is killed in the 4 adjacent tiles. A silly interaction that this causes is that in LS4, if you activate her skill 3 during the Slug Wave, you can activate it again immediately as soon as it ends. So that's something she has going for her. Her other talent is a simple buff to every Vanguard. So yeah, Siege isn't a bad operator. At launch she was solid, nothing strong, but nothing bad either. But I keep saying that. At launch. So what happened? It's very simple. Better options for early game DPS and lane holding came out. Saga, Bagpipe, Mountain, or literally anyone if you also have. Yes, Myrtle was the first strike. If I had an equal for every video where I looked at something and deducted Myrtle was to blame for it, I'd have 3 nickels. Which is not a lot, but it's weird it happened 3 times. Myrtle kind of single-handedly erased the early game DPS niche. Because now you put her down, you let her do her tomfoolery, and you have Mudrock as your early game DPS. Then Bagpipe came out. Bagpipe on her own is a way better early game DPS, and she also enables Flagpipe. So now you can have Mudrock and Penance and Thorns as your early game DPS. And then Saga. There is no two ways about it. She was made with the clear intent to directly power creep Siege, so that Lowlight could take Siege out back and f***ing shoot her. Just one look at Saga Skit will prove that. Both have a talent that makes them gain SP, but Saga just plain does it better, making more SP and giving it to other operators as well. Their skill 1 is the same. Their skill 2s literally do the same thing. AoE damage in the cardinal directions with a little bit of DP on the side. But Saga makes more DP, deals more damage, has a bigger range, and it's manual activation, meaning she still makes DP even if her lane is a barren wasteland as empty as a Spectre fan's skull. Skill 3 for both is the main DPS skill, but Saga just plain does it better. Are you noticing the pattern? She has AoE, attacks quicker, and has a bigger range. Overall, she usually outputs more DPS compared to Siege, unless there is only one target. And both got the -4 DP module, and both have an ugly skin. They differ in the other talent, but Saga got a very solid self-sustain. That's just better than Siege's. And Siege isn't even the best in the Vanguard buffing niche because Zima skill 2 exists. Just nothing went right for this poor girl. Of course, there are things where Siege is better. In very niche situations, her skill being automatic is better, and Saga doesn't have true AoE. Or the silly LS4 interaction I mentioned, Saga still abides by the laws of this game, given all of these situations are likely to never happen for the average player. Hey there, SUPAH from the future here. I completely forgot to mention that her module 2 also buffs her talent for the SP. Now she makes more SP than Saga, but I would still say Saga has the better talent, because Saga can give it to other operators as well. And it also makes activating skill 3 twice a lot easier, because now you just need to kill 10 enemies instead of 30. So that's actually pretty good. Saga is literally just Siege, but better in 99.9% of ways. But SUPAH, what about her module? Shut up, we're getting to it. Her first module is barely even worth mentioning, just a very minor attack buff. Moving on to module 2, it gives her -4 DP on her first deployment. This effect is really good. It's not a case like Shirayuki where her module is just plain f***ing useless. This is a great effect. It's just that it doesn't do anything for Siege. Her issue was never DDP in the first place, so buffing her DP doesn't change her place in the meta, and it really doesn't change it when the Saga has the same module. Her issue was never being too expensive, it's that she just can't keep up with Saga, or Bagpipe, or Mountain, or Penance plus Myrtle ball-busting combo in anything, really. Ah well, we both know Chapter 14 or whatever is gonna have Siege Alter with some dumbass name like Siege the Lion F***er, and that's gonna fix her. That's all I had to say. Max out your Gummy. Bye. Wow, you made it to the outro, that's pretty cool, thank you for watching, and a thank you to the channel members shown on screen right now, and a special thank you to Tech404, Noobpua, Good Ol' Brian, Come to Brazil, Bhaigna, Chromchan but JJF, and Yuval. It's in part thanks to you wonderful people if the videos keep coming out, so yeah, parade it around because you are superior compared to everyone else.